Indiana's #1 news source. This is Fox 59 Live at 5.
It is Election Day for the 2022 midterms. It's finally here. The polls opened at 6 o'clock this morning. They close 1 hour from now at 6 p.m. here in central Indiana. Hoosiers voting today for who will represent them in Washington and at the Indiana State House. And we're here tonight to keep you updated on all of the big races as the evening goes along. Thank you so much for joining us tonight live at 5. We are your local election headquarters. I'm Dan Spieler.
And I'm Beershell Edmay. Now this evening, we will be keeping a close eye on a few key races around the state. The race at the top of the ballot in Indiana is for U.S. Senate. Republican Senator Todd Young is seeking re-election. His Democratic challenger is Tom McDermott, the mayor of Hammond. Fox 59's Kristen Eskow joins us live in downtown Indianapolis, where Young supporters will be gathering here as polls close this evening. Kristen?
Yeah, Beershell and Dan, we're here downtown at the GOP watch party where Senator Todd Young is one of the candidates on the ballot we're expecting to see here tonight. Now, Republicans are looking to hold on to this seat as they hope to retake control of the Senate. Meanwhile, Democrats are looking at this and many other seats across the country as they try to gain more seats and have a stronger majority in the Senate. Now, Republican Senator Todd Young is seeking a second term in the Senate. He was first elected in 2016 and previously served 6 years in the House. He's focused his campaign on his military background and some of the legislation he's backed in Washington, including the Bipartisan CHIPS Act, which will fund semiconductor production. He's also made inflation a central issue in his campaign. Meanwhile, Young's Democratic opponent, Tom McDermott, is a Navy veteran who has been the mayor of Hammond in Northwest Indiana since 2004. McDermott says protecting abortion access is his top priority. He's vowed to vote in favor of codifying Roe v. Wade if elected. Here's some of what the candidates had to say at their only debate held last month.
The plan is quite simple. We need to stop spending trillions of dollars we don't have on things we don't need.
Roe versus Wade worked for my entire life. For 5 decades, it was the precedent established by the U.S. Supreme Court that women had the right to privacy, including the right to have an abortion.
Now, national analysts like the Cook Political Report have deemed the race not competitive, though there was a poll released last month that suggested perhaps a tighter race, with McDermott trailing Young by only 2 points.
Kristen, there have been some of those polls showing the potential for a close race, but when it comes to fundraising, the latest numbers show really a pretty wide gap here between the two candidates, right? What does that tell us about this race for Senate?
Yeah, that's right, Dan, and that's something we've seen across this campaign throughout the year. Young has out-fundraised McDermott significantly. As of late September, data from the Federal Election Commission shows Young with about $5.5 million cash on hand, McDermott roughly $400,000 cash on hand. So Young far out-fundraising McDermott in this race. And political experts say, of course, money matters in politics because it's a tool used to try to reach voters through ads, events, and other means.
All right, Kristen Eskow reporting live there at the watch party for Indiana Republicans. We'll be checking in throughout the night. Kristen, thanks so much.
In all, nationally, here's what's up for grabs in this year's midterms. All 435 House seats. As well, 35 Senate seats, including Todd Young's seat we just discussed, and 36 governor positions. The Senate is currently divided evenly at 50-50, with the VP splitting that vote. And right now, there are 220 Democrats in the U.S. House, 212 Republicans. Republicans are hoping to gain power in the House and Senate for the first time in President Biden's presidency. Now, the Indiana Secretary of State race will be closely watched as well this evening. Republican Diego Morales, Democrat Destiny Wells, as well as Libertarian Jeff Moore, all running for office here this evening. Fox 59's Eric Graves joins us now live from the Democrat election night party at Union Station. And Eric, you've honed in here on that Secretary of State race, and Democrats see this really as a big opportunity, one really a decade in the making.
Beershell, they really do. Yeah, no big statewide win for the Democrats since 2012, and they see Destiny Wells, the Secretary of State candidate, as a good chance here of beating, like you said, her opponent, Diego Morales. Now, polling in October actually showed Wells up 36 points to Diego Morales' 32 points. The Libertarian candidate there, Jeff Moore, pulling in at 7%. Wells has ran on the ideas of increasing voter turnout by working with county clerks to administer the best elections. Maurer wants to see more post-election audits. Morales has also talked about election security while focusing on a grassroots campaign. Morales' campaign has faced speculation over his thoughts on the 2020 election. He's had some campaign finance questions as well due to his campaign purchasing a car, and there have been sexual assault claims by 2 women against Morales. We spoke to Wells earlier this month, but Morales has denied interview requests since September. He says he's focused on speaking to people who could actually vote for him, not those who won't, like his opponents.
Just overwhelmingly working with county clerks to make sure that we are administering elections in a fair, free, secure, and accessible way.
They know who they're going to vote for. I'm trying to convince voters who will vote for me. I don't think my opponents, they will vote for me. I will not vote for them. So why do I need to?
Wells has also campaigned on expanding absentee voting, while Morales has also put into his campaign helping small business owners and also increasing financial literacy. We're going to be live here at Nevermore all night for the Democratic Election Night Watch Party. For now, though, Dana Bierschel, back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you. Keeping watch there of our chief elections officer in that race. We'll send things now to Dan.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Locally, we're also watching the Marion County prosecutor's race. Incumbent Ryan Mears facing off against Republican Cindy Carrasco. We're going to have a closer look at this race coming up in our next half hour live at 5. You know, Hoosiers are also voting on who will represent them in Congress. And remember, this year, you probably could be voting in a different congressional district. Some of them have changed boundaries since last time. That redistricting process takes place every 10 years. It's redrawn the boundaries for a number of our congressional districts, including the 7th, which used to be sort of the south side and middle of Indianapolis. Now it's shifted to the north. So a lot of those districts are slightly different than they used to be. We'll see how that plays out tonight as well. Meantime, most seats in the Indiana General Assembly are also on the ballot this year. Many lawmakers up for re-election. Of course, Republicans hold a supermajority there at the State House, which means they make up 2/3 of the seats in both the House and the Senate. Redrawn districts there as well. Now, to break that supermajority, Democrats would need to hold all of their current seats and pick up another 5 in the House and another 7 seats in the Senate. Now, as we mentioned, there's just under an hour left to vote now. The polls close at 6 o'clock here in central Indiana. We've been seeing steady streams of people heading to polling places across central Indiana today. Fox 59's Max Lewis live at Broad Ripple High School tonight, where there were some hiccups earlier today. Max, what happened?
Yeah, Dan, there were some hiccups. Things are running smoothly right now. People are able to get in and get out. The line is so much shorter. But those hiccups, we are told, was a result of some issues with some of the voting machines. Luckily, election officials were able to clear all that up and say things overall have been running pretty smoothly all day. Where people choose to cast their vote determine how long they had to wait.
It was very fast. It was really efficient. I voted at Hinkle several times, and this is like my favorite place to vote. It's super efficient.
At Hinkle Fieldhouse on Butler's campus, voters gave the polling place a thumbs up, saying they were able to get in and get out.
I waited in there for about like 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
And they were going really fast too, so it was pretty helpful.
But at nearby Broad Ripple High School, the process may have been smooth, but the wait was a different story.
Went smoothly, probably about an hour, I'd say.
The line was, it took some time, but was worth it.
The line snaked outside the building. Some people even brought some reading materials to pass the time. Some voters said they were told some of the voting machines failed, as did the ones that were brought in as backups.
It looked like there were a couple that didn't have the light on.
We had some machines that seemed to be going down, some issues with forms, address changes. All of that is pretty standard for us.
Breanne Delaney with Marion County's election board said none of the issues caused major disruptions and were addressed quickly.
We send out our mechanics and other individuals to help address problems that we can't address over the phone.
Voters experienced long lines elsewhere in the metro area. Lines in Hancock County stretched out of the building as well. People we talked to said they'd wait as long as it takes.
I hope that we can do a little bit better, but I'll always wait.
I'd rather be more people voting than less people, I guess. Happy to wait.
Now, along with the people that voted in person and actually on Election Day, there are others early voters as well as absentee ballots. The Marion County Election Board says, they spent most of the day processing those. They hope to possibly have some initial results by 7 o'clock this evening. That is, if things run smoothly for the rest of the day. And again, there is still some time to come out here and vote. The polls don't close till 6. You can find all the information, polling places, candidates, if you're still going to be heading out here over on our website, fox59.com. Live in Broad Ripple, I'm Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.